So today's judgment is a very interesting one, and I would request all of you, if possible, go to Supreme Court's website, download this, and read the full judgment. And if you do, probably you would come up with a question that I've been pondering for quite some time. That is the role of Supreme Court in delivering justice. Whether the role is solely on delivering judgment or it is also responsible for delivering justice. So let me first take you through the case. It's a criminal case, a criminal appeal came out of SLP. This is the appellant who was charged under murder, 302. Here you can see 302 of the Penal Code. And in Okay, let's get on with it. So, just to give you a brief or the background before the murder actually took place. So, this particularly talks about from here onward. It talks about the day of the murder when the incident took place, and on that particular day, in the evening, the deceased, the informant's son, who was got killed in that alleged incident. And this deceased and some of his friends were standing outside. They were chatting, and the time here you can see around 12:30. And at that time, the three accused. So the principal accused here you have one named George, who is the appellant here. So the principal accused, along with two co-accused, also showed up in that same event, and then there was a verbal altercation between the deceased and the principal accused. One thing led to other. Subsequently, the complaint is such that the principal accused took out a knife, chased the deceased, and there were two more co-accused who helped the principal accused to secure the deceased body, and then they took out the knife and killed him. So that's basically the story. Here you have the police report. It says they prepared observation Mahazar. Mahazar is basically overview or a report of the crime scene where the crime took place, and they recovered certain objectives from the place of this alleged incident. And they prepared inquest report, which is basically a report just to see whether it was an accident, suicide, or whatever the nature of the death. uh, Now, from the appellant, the principal accused, they recovered the knife which was used to murder the deceased. And after that, it talks about what happened at the trial court. Now, definitely in the trial court, all three were convicted and they were given punishment as per the rule, as per the statute. But what happened here, you can see the trial court upon consideration of the facts and circumstances, uh, convicted and sentenced the three accused. Now, all three then subsequently challenging the decision, they preferred an appeal at the High Court. Now, in the High Court, something strange happened. What High Court did, here you find the gist of it. It says uh, he submitted that on the basis of very same evidence of PW1. Now, the PW1 is the father, okay? The learned judge of High Court have disbelieved the testimony of PW1 insofar as accused number 2 and 3 are concerned. So from the High Court, the two co-accused, they were acquitted. Why they were acquitted? The reason is given below. If I scroll down, here you have the reasoning of the High Court. It says that since the incident had taken place at around 300 meters from the church at night, though it doesn't talk about whether it happened at night or at day, it is difficult to believe that PW1 could have actually witnessed the act. And considering the situation and the timing and everything, the High Court gave the benefit of the doubt to two of the co-accused, and they were acquitted. Now, there, now you see that they are using the principal accused still remained convicted, accused in this case. Now, nothing has changed. The witness, the evidence all remained the same. Now, while using the same set of evidence, two of the co-accused were released or they were acquitted, but the principal accused remained. Now, what the defense did in the Supreme Court, since it is not logical actually, and I agree with it, because when you are using a set of evidence to prosecute somebody else, the same set of evidence cannot be used to accuse some other set of individuals, because they all come from the same sources and the nature of the evidence and everything remains same. So either you have to go for full prosecution or full acquittal. But now since that uh, you know uh, what would you say, uh, since that irrational thing that happened at the High Court, the defense counsel here took advantage of that situation. They preferred an appeal, and uh, here you can see Supreme Court made an observation that in the present case, when High Court comes to conclusion that PW1 could have witnessed the incident in the manner narrated by him and granted benefit of the doubt to the accused number 2 and 3, the conviction of accused number 1 on the basis of the evidence of the same very witness only on the basis of conjectures and surmises in our view is not permissible. So Supreme Court in a way does acknowledge that the view that was taken is not justifiable. But since reasoning states that if you if you should acquit a certain individual while relying on a certain set of evidence, then you have to acquit all of them. You cannot prosecute the other, and that is exactly here happened. You can see the appellant is acquitted. Now, coming to the justice part, if you read this entire uh, judgment, there are three things that uh, it doesn't, there is zero mentioning about three things. Let me see where are those. Yeah. Now, while delivering, I'm now talking about with respect to justice, not the judgment, because from the judgment point of view, Supreme Court absolutely did fine, holding to the reasoning and rationality. But if you read the judgment, it doesn't talk about DNA report with respect to the knife which was recovered. Then it doesn't talk about the TI parade. If you remember in this case, here if you the place of the event, the deceased were present along with three more individuals or three more witnesses. Now, one of them was examined, two of them were not examined. And ideally, what should happen if, we know how, and one other thing you would notice that the person who was investigating, it says that took some time off and there was somebody else. We do not know what happened at the police station, but logically or technically there should have been a TI parade to identify whether those three were there during the event or not. It doesn't talk about that. Second, the knife that was recovered, there is no DNA report, nothing. Here you can see, based on the confession, the knife was recovered, and this, there was a different inspector who took charge of the investigation. But then, meanwhile, it doesn't talk about the DNA report, whether uh, a forensic test was done on this knife or not. So this uh, sort of overlook of the facts, some of the statements, because I'm sure Supreme Court did look into all those, lapses which are present or which were present in the report and all through the proceedings. But somehow Supreme Court chose to overlook those aspects, and uh, at the end, acknowledging the mistake or the irrationality that was committed at the High Court. They upheld that irrationality, but based on that irrationality, a reasoned order was passed. So, again, I mean, definitely from the judgment point of view, it's all right, I would say, but from the justice, whether Supreme Court was able to deliver the justice or not with respect to the murder or with respect to the tragic incident that took place. Uh, uh, I mean, I have some serious questions about that. Let me know what you think about it.